welcome to Broken Entertainment. Today I want to talk about a season about mental health issues, and is like a Saturday morning after school PSA kind of thing from the sound of it. I'm not watching this season, so every now and then I tune in to like Nerdrotic or Doomcock or one of those channels and listen to a review, just see what's going on with it. This one really caught my attention, and for the last several days, I haven't even really known what to say about it. It just really, really pissed me off that this scene even happened. Forget the rest of the episode, I don't even care. Um, but this scene just, to me, is indescribably terrible human garbage. I think to even act it out is just awful, let alone the person who wrote it and thought it was a good idea and the person who approved it and thought it was a good idea. My father-in-law had cancer, and he managed to beat it the first time. And then it came back, and they were always in fear of it coming back. And it came back, and eventually it killed him. And to know that, and to have seen how even the fear of it coming back affected someone, I can't even begin to imagine how someone thought this was a good idea. And to be honest, I think it makes Chris Chibnall, it shows him to be an absolutely god-awful human being. But, so what happens in this episode, at the end of the episode, the doctor has spoken to her other companions about their mental health issues and consoled them and had plenty of words for them. And then Graham comes to her and he shares his fear that he's really terrified that his cancer will come back. And, look at the screen if you're not. These are the actual lines from the scene in the show and the actual still photos from the scene in the show. And I'm going to bring up one at a time. This is after Graham says what he's afraid of. Okay, look at that face. Forget the line for a minute. Look at the face. She looks annoyed. Like, oh my god, why would you even bother telling me this? I can't even process how someone would think this is good. I can't. I'm sorry. It's awful. It's trash. And then the line. I should say a reassuring thing now, shouldn't I? Yeah, you think? You freaking think? Maybe say one nice thing? And yeah, it's hard to know what to say. I know because I've been there. But that doesn't mean you say, I should say a reassuring thing now. There are plenty of other things you can say, or you can just be there and just listen and let him talk. But she says this, and she gives him this look of just utter, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you even telling me this? Okay, then this is a pretty understandable reaction on his part. And then we get this. Now we have an even more annoyed expression with annoyed body language that says completely defensive, completely self-focused body language. I'm still quite socially awkward. So the BBC released a statement saying this was supposed to be a reflection of how difficult the situation is and how it's difficult to deal with being socially awkward as well. Neither one of those things are the important thing in this scene. The important thing is that her friend, supposedly her friend, just said, I am terrified that my cancer is going to come back. The doctor I know would have said anything other than this. Absolutely anything other than this. And certainly wouldn't have given this look. I don't know how you process this. I don't even know how you can come up with this as an idea. So let's say for a minute they wanted to deal with the doctor's anxiety and deal with his anxiety and deal with the very real awkwardness that sometimes comes with this kind of conversation. That's doable in very real, mature terms. They could have done it. A good writer could have done it. But we didn't get a good writer. We got despicable human beings writing trash. So the next one that makes it, I think, worse, way worse. Again, the expression, now with the dismissive hand gesture. I'm just going to subtly walk towards the console. And then what's missing from here is her saying something along the lines of, and I'm going to look at something, and then eventually I'll think of something I could have said that may have been a little helpful. And she just turns her back on him. Literally turns her back on him. And he walks off. That's awful. It's shit. The fact that anyone would have come up with this and okayed it is indescribably just horrendous. If I hadn't already tuned out of the show, this would have been it. Certainly, this is a moment that to me says they don't give a shit. If you're willing to shit on a cancer survivor's fear of their cancer coming back to make your bullcrap political opinions, then there is something fundamentally wrong with you. And certainly fundamentally wrong with your show. I can't. I will never watch another episode as long as it is run by Chibnall. Ever. And as long as Jodie Whittaker, who was perfectly willing to film this scene the way it was, as long as she's on the show, I will not watch it. Regardless of anything else that changes. I don't care if it becomes the best show in the world again. Never gonna happen. The writing on this show has been crap, but the thing that really takes this already awful scene and elevates it to a whole new level of terrible is the fact that it is racially motivated and age motivated. Because on this show we have seen repeatedly the white guys, white men, always made to look like idiots. And everybody else is pushed above them. And you see the same thing in this episode. She talks to Yaz, listens to her, and has comforting words, despite being apparently socially awkward. She talks to, I don't even remember his name, the other guy, Graham's son. She talks to him, comforting words. But you get to the old white guy, and you're a dismissive prick over a very real fear that a lot of people have. It's not acceptable writing. It's not acceptable show running. And quite frankly, it's not acceptable that the actress was willing to do this scene without protest. So, what can we do when we're confronted with crap like this? Turn it off. Stop watching it. Same thing goes with Star Wars. Same thing goes with the garbage they're pandering in Star Trek. When they give you garbage, turn it off. And we're seeing that start to work. Birds of Prey bombed. Dark Fate bombed. Charlie's Angels bombed. Even if it's not a politically bad thing, if it's just crap, don't give them your money. They don't deserve it. And if you give it to them, they're going to think it's the right idea. Captain Marvel made money. We see it doubling down on TV shows that have come out after it. Batwoman, for example. Turn away from it. If it's crap, and as hard as it can be, I know, I get it. I love Doctor Who. It was very hard to turn off season 11, but it was crap. And it was very hard not to buy season 12. But I wasn't going to give them $25 for the season when I knew it was going to be bad. The only thing that works with these people is to take away the money that makes them think they're making the right decision. Stop watching. People are doing it in abundance with Doctor Who. The ratings are worse than they have ever been historically. And they're getting worse with every episode. And I really hope it falls off a cliff after this one. The other thing you can do, if you are a creative person, create something. Go out and make something of your own. Get it out there. Get it published. Do whatever you need to do to get it out there. Give something that people can turn to when the things that they like are being destroyed. Those are the two ways that we can deal with it. Those are the two ways you fix the problem, because it's not enough to point out the problem. It's easy to point out the problem, though the problem should be pointed out. But it's doable. We see it with the movies that have been failing, and we see it with the movies that have been successful. Sonic making buckets of money while Birds of Prey collapses. Birds of Prey, terrible marketing, terrible messaging, ignored the fans. Sonic came out with the initial trailer. Everybody freaked out because the design was bad. They put the movie off, changed the design, brought it out. Everyone liked it. Everyone went and started to see it because, if nothing else, in support of what they were willing to do, that they changed. So if you want change, if you want to see this stuff get better, you have to make the hard decision to stop supporting it. And if you're creative, create something. And don't just create something and put it in your drawer. Get it out there. Even if it's just on a fan website, get it out there. That's the way that we can confront this. And unfortunately, it's probably the only way. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.